Welcome to Sports City, USA, Frisco, Texas. Ever wonder how a small town in North Texas became the epicenter of American sports? From the Dallas Cowboys to the PGA of America, Frisco is where champions train, fans gather, and unforgettable events come to life. In our new docuseries, Where Greatness Grows, hear the real story from the people who built it. City leaders, sports execs, and visionaries who turned Frisco into a powerhouse for tournaments and meetings. With world-class venues, championship fields, and top-tier hotels all in one place, Frisco is more than ready to host your next big event. Watch the story at sportscityusa.com.
You have so many of the professional leagues touching this community, whether it's Major League Soccer or the NFL or the PGA.
Failure was just not an option.
It's been really cool to build the business that we have here in Frisco.
It's one of those places where you want to be if you're into sports.
People are pointing here, and they're saying, I need to go there.
And hey, everybody, thank you for joining. I know with our webinars, we typically get started a few minutes in to let people trickle in. But for this particular webinar, we have so much content to cover that it's going to be a small miracle if we're able to get it all in within the hour. So bear with us here. We're going to try to get to everything. A lot of really exciting announcements, a lot of really exciting material that we're going to get to. All of the big stuff that we're going to go through is going to be covered within this hour. It may go a little bit over when we go into some of the other stuff, but we'll have this recorded, and we'll also answer any questions that you guys have in the Q&A. We'll have those written down and send those out to through email to you. After the along with the webinar recording, so you can have those. So if you have to jump early or jump before we're finished, no problem at all, and we'll send the recording and the Q&A to you. So as the webinar goes here, I'm going to go ahead and jump into the agenda. As the webinar goes, feel free to ask any questions or in the chat, or put anything in the chat that you'd like. We're going to answer the questions at the end, but just if anything comes to mind as the webinar comes, feel free to put that in there, and we'll make sure that we get to it. And also, this is the biggest webinar that we've ever had at Playeasy. There's a lot of people joining. More people are continuing to trickle in. And so we really appreciate you guys all spending your time with us. It's an honor to have you here and for you to be able to choose to spend your time, your afternoon on our webinar today. So thank you. So we have a jam-packed agenda. So as we go through it, the first thing that we're going to do is cover the Playeasy structure, company structure updates, the exciting updates that we just announced yesterday. From there, we're then going to go into really an introduction into the Playeasy Experiences business line. This webinar is going to be mainly centered on Playeasy Experiences, and especially with a new launch of a new product that Playeasy Experiences is revealing today. And really exciting to get into that. So we'll go into the introduction, have some conversations with a few of our stakeholders and partners, with Kim Dalby from Visit Salt Lake and then Greg Evans from SimpleView. And then we're going to go into a demo of our brand new product from Playeasy Experiences. And then from there, we're going to announce the host for the 2026 Innovators Summit. And really excited. We have a great destination, and I hope you guys can all join us there. We'll make sure we get those covered within this hour. Then we have some pricing updates, nothing too crazy, but just wanted to kind of lay out all the different products and the pricing that we have, next steps, and Q&A to answer your questions. So that's the agenda. And so from here, we can go ahead and get started. All right. So some really exciting updates yesterday that you might have seen, but Playeasy has now restructured into two companies, two business lines underneath our parent company, Playeasy Incorporated. The theme that we have here is two worlds, one family. And we think that that's really kind of appropriate for this particular webinar, because and for this industry, really, because as we started as a sports tourism organization, really driving sports tourism connections, what we heard from so many of our sports tourism partners is that the DMO and the Sports Tourism Commission and really the event sales side of the businesses are like two different worlds that don't really kind of operate within each other. And so what we're doing here And with this restructure, as we get into why we're doing this, I think most people might kind of understand, and it makes a lot of sense for people that are very familiar with us. But really what we're doing is we're organizing our organization to mirror the organizations of the destinations in the DMOs. On one side of a DMO, you have your sports commission and your event salespeople. Those groups are going out and trying to find and build relationships with event organizers and bring events into their community. And then on the other side of a DMO is the marketing, the website, the membership teams that are really working to curate content, be able to get out in front of visitors and engage visitors, and really be the authentic voice of their destination. Those are the two sides of the solutions in our organization that we're putting together here. And so while you guys operate in that way, we're also going to be operating in that way. But one thing and one theme that we're getting into, and that we'll get into as we go within this webinar, is in this new world of this new AI era, something that's going to be critical that we believe is the ability for both sides of these organizations, the DMO and the sports commissions and the event sales groups, to really be able to work together. That's going to be a critical theme as we get into the new solutions that we have, all about really trying to drive visitor engagement on the experiences side, being able to work together hand in hand with the DMO and the event teams to be able to drive traffic to those event attendees that are coming in is going to be a critical piece. And so as we set our organization up in this way to mirror you, really the goal is to be able to drive a more efficient way for us all to work together. And a couple things that as we get into the evolution of our company, we started Playeasy almost 8 years ago. And so that's the Playeasy Incorporated organization at the top there. And at that time, we made the conscious but difficult decision that we were going to really try to bootstrap the company, and decided that we're not going to go in and take any big venture funding or institutional funding for the organization. And we did that because what we realized is once you do that, you start to have to serve two masters. You have to be able to serve and provide an investment return to the private equity or to the venture capital firms that have invested in you, who are investing in you to get investor return, while you also are trying to create a product for your customers that can be valuable. And those two things can sometimes conflict. And we never wanted to be able to fall into that trap or to be able to fall into that area. What we wanted to be able to do is only serve one master, and that one master is our customer. That's the destination. And so everything that we do for destinations, and I think this is important just to understand, everything that we do, every interest that we have is to help provide really valuable solutions to destinations to help make destinations successful, because the only way that we at Playeasy can be successful is if destinations are successful. And so everything that we're doing is to try to help drive more value and more success to your destination. And as we started as a sports tourism organization, really a sports tourism connection platform, serving event organizers, destinations, and venues. And the mission of that from the beginning was to help create a more cohesive and connected sports tourism ecosystem where event organizers can more easily find new locations and venues to be able to host their events, whether it's a new event organizer or an existing event organizer that's looking to unlock new destinations, is really create a more connected ecosystem to make running events and finding new locations for your events easier. So more events can happen and more events can meet new destinations, and you as destinations can bring that impact and provide more impact into your community. That's really the mission of the network, and that's what we've been doing really for the last 8 years. As our platform has expanded and as our company evolved, what we've really gotten into is not just now trying to create more connections in the sports tourism world, but also building out our platform to create great experiences for the visitors that are coming into your destination. And what we started with was event experiences for sports. And what we didn't really necessarily know at the time, and that we understand now, is creating an experience for a sporting event is the highest complexity type of event and experience that you can create. These types of events for sports, they often span over, they'll have multiple venues for a single event. These visitors are extremely unpredictable. Most of them register for these events like 2 weeks before the event starts, so all the room blocks are already closed. You have to create a really flexible hotel solution for people to be able to have a live rate option with a room block option, different deals and discounts that are available across these different areas. And so as we're building up, and as we have been building up our experiences solution for the sports event side, what we've realized is, man, this technology that we're creating, this is extremely applicable to not just sports events, but to any type of event and to any type of visitor experience. Leisure travel across the whole DMO website, a conference, a trade show, a concert, a festival, it doesn't matter. If we can do this for sports, we could basically do this for anything. While we were building that out, the world really started to evolve. AI came and got introduced to the world, and that really shook up the way visitors started to really engage with DMO content. That was a massive, shaking of the industry. And as we started to understand kind of the problems that DMOs were going through and the issues that they were having, and we were looking at the technology that we built, we realized that that first mission that we had of connecting the sports tourism ecosystem was still going, but there was another mission that was equally as important to us. And that was the ability to be able to provide solutions for destinations, to be able to engage visitors in meaningful ways in this new AI world, to keep the DMO as the center of the ecosystem, as the authentic authority of curated content and experiences for their destination. And that is now our second mission. And with these two missions that we feel like are extremely important, the only way that we thought that we could possibly be able to service both of these missions is to be able to divide and conquer. And so just yesterday, we announced the division of Playeasy into two separate business lines, which is the Playeasy Network and Playeasy Experiences. The Playeasy Network is where destinations engage with event organizers, and the Playeasy Experiences is where destinations engage with visitors. And before I introduce the new leader of the Playeasy Network, Kerri Shields, I just want to kind of go through a quick story that's a bit of a personal story before she comes on and says a few words. But this was right around 2020, April of 2020, where obviously this was the depths of COVID. And as I mentioned, we had bootstrapped our company, so we didn't really have a lot of funding or money in the bank to support a downfall like that. And it was an emotional conversation I had with Kerri. A lot of us, we needed to be able to go work and get a different job to be able to try to make money during this time. And the future of what our fledgling startup looked like was really unclear. And I had a conversation with Kerri, a really emotional one, where it was basically me telling her that I don't see a path forward, and I don't know if we're going to be able to do this. We have this opportunity to be able to try to pivot our platform to service destinations and really try to connect this sports tourism network digitally. But there's just so much work to do, and I don't think we can do it anymore. And Kerri, I'll never forget, responded to that call and said, I'm going to learn how to code, and I'm going to move home with my parents, and I'm going to build the first version of this network to get this network off the ground. And now, 8 years later or 5 years later, we're here on this webinar announcing the split in the new division of our company. And that is because Kerri sacrificed to me that heroic effort to save the company and to start the network. And so it is my honor to be able to introduce the new CEO of the Playeasy Network, Kerri Shields. And I'm happy to have Kerri come on and say a couple words.
Oh gosh, it's been an emotional 24 hours. Thank you, Sean. I'm a very emotional person, but I just want to say a few words. I want to take a minute to thank my team. These 8 years have been the hardest journey that I have been on personally, and it's made me realize that you're only as good as the people that you surround yourself with, and we are truly blessed to be surrounded by the best of the best and people who just make us better every day. And so I just want to thank you for your faith and confidence in me. And to all of you on this call, building relationships with you guys, going to conferences, being able to just get to know all of you on a more personal level has truly been an honor. It's been a humbling experience. And I just want to thank you, because without your belief in your faith in us and the community and the network that we're building, we wouldn't be here today. So I genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, just want to thank you. And I couldn't be more excited to step into this role. It's something, it drives me every day that we're building something that can make sports and events and community more accessible to everyone in this network. And I'm excited to spearhead and continue to grow this network for all of you. And so looking ahead, I'll be working alongside Ryan Quigley and the rest of the team and into expanding our network into every sport imaginable. I know we've started with about 10 to 15 sports, and now there's like over 200. And so we want to make sure that every type of event is represented on our platform and in our network, especially as we get into more of events outside of just sports. I'm excited for the opportunity to continue to grow internationally. I think there's a lot of opportunity there, and just to be able to have more of a focus into expanding that network is something that we are really excited about. And as I said, you guys are at the core of every decision that we make. Everything that we've done for these last 7 years, every sacrifice we've made has been to help grow this community. And so I really want to thank you. And lastly, I just want to publicly thank Sean. This has been a conversation, hours upon hours of conversations that we've had over the past few months. And he spearheaded this decision in the change of structure. And it really takes a special kind of person and leader to continually put this company and our community first. And his belief and his faith and confidence in me is something I'll never take lightly. And so I just want to thank you, Sean. And with that, I will pass it off to you.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Kerri. Congratulations. And so as we just quickly going back, we're already behind time, but we'll speed this up. So quickly going back, Kerri is going to be leading the network. And then while I'll continue to be the chairman and CEO of the parent company that's run by our 4 co-founders, myself, John Gorin, Kerri Shields, and Ryan Quigley, I'll be in a practical capacity, I guess, leading the experiences side. So really from what you guys can engage with us with and how you can engage with the market, you'll be engaging with Kerri and Ryan Quigley on the network side, and you'll be engaging with myself on the experiences side, and John Gordon will be a big part of that. He's running the platform as well as Brenna on our team as well. So that's going to be kind of how we're working here. Kerri's running the network, I'll be running the experiences, but we're all working together, integrated in the same platform, 2 worlds, 1 family. All right. So I mentioned that we have a new host for the 2026 Innovators Summit that we're going to be announcing here at the end of this webinar. And one of the things with the first webinar, or the first Innovators Summit that we had, that we ran in Valley Forge, that we were telling people is that at this summit, we're going to be working with you to really build the future. And that might have been sounded like, oh, we're blowing smoke. We're not, that's not really true, but that makes me feel good. But we're dead serious. And one of the things that I'm excited about for this conversation with Kim Dalby from Visit Salt Lake is that she attended our summit. And when we got into it, and she runs the website at Visit Salt Lake, and she's one of the people on the front lines that's going through the problem right now for DMO websites in the world of AI. And when she attended the summit, she sat down and hands-on, worked with John, worked with me, had many conversations to really understand what can we do, what can we build, what kind of solutions can we create to be able to allow the DMOs to succeed in this challenging time. And so really excited to have Kim on and really kind of have a conversation similar to what we had at the summit, because a lot of what we're doing, the new products that we're launching, is all based off of a lot of the conversations that were influenced by Kim. So Kim, thank you for joining.
Thank you for having me here. I really enjoyed the conversation at Summit and the conversations that we had there. Like, it wasn't just a conversation, it was like the excitement that you guys have and the momentum that you had about making these products and moving forward was really great. And we have a plan coming out of Summit on how to move forward with that to where we're at today, where we're piloting some products, so the Playeasy product on our website right now. So it's been a really fast experience and a really good experience with you guys.
Awesome. Well, great. Well, thank you. We appreciate that. So Kim, I guess for the audience, could you first introduce yourself and your experience, so everybody can kind of get an understanding?
Yeah, so I am with Visit Salt Lake, and I have been working with our website on Visit Salt Lake for 25, almost 26 years. One of my first jobs, right out of college, was with Visit Salt Lake. So I've evolved with the internet and with DMO spaces since pretty much the beginning of the internet. I took a little time off to do some other things and experience some other venues as well, or other business models as well, but pretty much been with Visit Salt Lake that whole time. So I've seen how the wild west of the internet in the early days affected things, and now I feel like we're back in the wild west again with the advent of AI. I know many of us are struggling with the way things are being impacted, the way that AI and zero-click transactions not transactions, but zero-click searches on Google and other search engines, searches within the large language models themselves, where we're not getting any attribution, we're not getting clicks through to our website, so it's basically invisible to us. These things are impacting what we're having, what we can see to how we are influencing people in their travels.
Yeah, so obviously Kim has maybe the most experience out there in DMO land for website and engagement. So what you just talked about is a huge issue. So could you just explain and touch on the importance of driving engagement to your website? Why does that matter?
So when we drive engagement to our website, we have been focusing in large part on getting true engagement on the website, not just clicks through. So we see the number of visitors, and we've had visitor goals like everybody else does for a long time. But we've also had an engagement metric goal where we want to increase the amount of time you spend on our website, because we know from attribution data and from other things that the more time you spend on our website, the better chance there is that you're going to come to Salt Lake and spend money here, and that's the goal for all of us, right? And as a DMO, as a sports entity, the goal is to get them to come to our location and spend money in our location, stay in our hotels, eat at our restaurants, attend our attractions, come to the event that they came here for. And so I know if they come to my website and they spend more than a minute, our current goal is more than 55 seconds engaged time, that they are more than likely coming to Salt Lake. Maybe not within the next 90 days, but sometime within the next year, they will be in Salt Lake. And so we have this attribution data from various sources that say if I can get them to spend time on the website, they will come to Salt Lake and they will meet our overall goal as a DMO. So I want them on my website. But now I have a industry average of a 35% drop in clicks through to our traffic, or through to our website. And so Visit Salt Lake has not been impacted as much as that. We have had only a 17% drop. So I cheer on our SEO team all the time, and our vendors that we work with there, hey, thanks you guys for doing such a great job keeping us up there, keeping the click-throughs onto there. But AI is impacting every DMO on the zero clicks and getting them to our website. So if I can't get them to my website, I can't get them to spend more than a minute on my website, which means I can't attribute them coming to Salt Lake. And then they're like, I actually had a VP say, well, what's the point of the website anymore? And I'm like, whoa, this is my whole life. The visitsaltlake.com website is my baby. I've worked on it for so long. So I'm like, wait. It's the only channel we own. Every social media channel, while we own the content on it, we're at their mercy to be delivered by them. So I have to think about, how do I make sure that I get that? So we do have a great SEO team that is keeping our clicks high, that is getting traffic to our website, even though we've had a drop. And so we're focusing on that. But then the next part is, how do I keep them on my website and boost that engagement? And that's really where the conversation with John at the Innovators Summit took off. Like, what am I looking for? And I've had, I don't know how many of you guys have had someone trying to sell you an AI chatbot solution or a chatbot solution sometime over the last 8 to 10 years. We had a chatbot for 3 years on Visit Salt Lake. It was a terrible experience. It was a little bit too early because AI really makes it a robust solution, where when it was just powered by guesses as to what people were asking about and then trying to filter it back out, it wasn't a great experience. People used it instead of our navigation. And so I was like, I would look back through the conversations because they were recorded, and it wasn't giving robust answers, and it wasn't serving our members because that's an audience and a stakeholder that we have to meet. It wasn't serving our website visitors because it wasn't giving them the answers that they wanted. I could see in real time or through the conversations that people were getting frustrated by how the answers were being given to them. So in my conversation with John, I was like, okay, so there's several things that are really important to me for AI and to engage with AI on my website. I have to be in control of the information that is disseminated. I've had conversations with AI test bots where it'll tell me that I can use the bus to get to the resorts in the summertime, but I can't. I cannot use, there's no public transportation to our ski resorts in the summertime. It is only a ski product. And so if I have my AI or something on my website telling people, you just use public transportation, and they get here and there's none, that's a bad experience. And they're going to go on and they're going to say, hey, Salt Lake is terrible. And I don't want them to think that Salt Lake is terrible. I love Salt Lake. I think it's a fantastic place to visit. It is a great vacation destination, but I can't have AI lie. So I need to be able to gatekeep the information that the AI is telling people. And I need to be able to say, this is reliable information. Yeah, you should cross-check what time the zoo is open, or is this particular restaurant open on Sundays or Mondays or Tuesdays? But I don't want to have to gatekeep. I don't want to have to say, you should really check and see if there's flights from your location into Salt Lake, or can you stay at this hotel, or is this event happening? All of these things. So gatekeeping those things is important.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so Kim, just for the sake of time, to try to squeeze this in. So last question here is, from a standpoint of AI and kind of the conversations that we've had, really, like, it's not quite about the chatbot, but it's more about driving true engagement to visitors, right? And being able to use AI to be able to power great experiences and bring them into your authentic, curated content that is the truth for your DMO. Is that accurate?
Yeah, that is accurate. So we want to make sure that the AI answer drives them deeper into our website and doesn't drive them off our website. So if it's recommending a restaurant, it has a link to that restaurant on our website. If it's recommending an experience, it either goes to our attractions or a blog post that we've written. And one of the things that's really important is that we have spent the time and energy to build out a robust environment with deep blog posts that talk about things, with itineraries already built. But I have to say the pilot program builds really great itineraries that are like accurate. And that's the thing that's really great. So the engagement for visitors is the important part. And driving them back into the website, driving them deeper into conversations. Do you want to learn more? Those kinds of things, where it's not just a one-off question. And I think as AI gets embedded more in society, people are going to start engaging with it more and having those conversations.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Kim, thank you so much for joining us today, and thank you for the conversation. And we'll move on to the next piece where we kind of go through some of the feedback that we've gotten from our conversations to how we kind of got to building this new product that we're going to be announcing. But thank you so much for joining and for your partnership, and we'll continue on here.
Yeah, thanks, Sean.
Awesome. So through working with Kim and working with a lot of our partners, what we really understood for what is visitor engagement is there's really 5 key takeaways and 5 key items that we feel like is absolutely necessary to be able to deliver, to be able to have the right kind of solution for a DMO. The first is it has to integrate with your CMS. It has to be able to use the website content that you've been building for years. You have to have full control over this thing. You are the master of this product. You have to have full control of what it says, the branding integrity, etc. It's not just about AI, but it's about the entire experience. It's not just a chat. You need to be able to have a whole 360 experience. Event engagement is you don't have to just rely on Google searches coming to your website, but use those visitors that are coming for your events. Give the event organizer something that's really useful for them to share to drive direct traffic in. And then also not just relying on Google, but really taking advantage of the in-market engagement, location-aware activations around the city. So as we get into this, one of the first and most important things here is the CMS integration. And so everybody might be familiar with our existing integration with SimpleView from our lead generation side going into the CRM. But wanted to introduce Greg Evans, the CRO of SimpleView, to introduce our newest integration with our CMS-synced with their SimpleView CMS. So hey, Greg, thanks for joining us.
Hey, thanks, Sean. Really happy to be here. Laughing and kind of Kim saying she's been in the industry 25 years. I think that's when this picture was taken of me. I appreciate you guys digging that up. But yeah, I think I've worked with Kim probably for 20 of those years, which is pretty crazy. But just to kind of drill home on a couple of things that she said, I think that are really key is, and things that you're saying as well as SimpleView, you know, and for those that don't know who we are, you know, our CRM and our CMS are really the foundational kind of integrated tech stack for a lot of the DMOs. We have about 1,100 DMOs that we power their websites and CRM platforms across the planet, about 600 of those here in the US. And so, you know, being essentially the steward and the responsible party for making sure our websites are not only staying on top of, you know, the latest trends, a lot of the people that come into the space that want to continue to work and find ways to work with DMOs, lately being some of these AI partners that are out there. But one thing that I'm really impressed by with working with Playeasy is that this is kind of a part 2 or an expansion or a natural iteration of the partnership that we already have on the CRM side through our leads exchange. And so I've been so impressed and want to give you guys congratulations for your growth and your new announcement of, you know, 2 worlds, 1 family. It's fantastic. And I'm behind it 100%. It's exactly what I see in the business. And I think some of the things that you guys are coming up with, they're really going to help customers solve and kind of navigate this new world. But to kind of tee off on a couple of things that Kim said and that you said as well is that at the end of the day, the website is not going to go away. Now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, I don't think any of us can say what's going to happen. Maybe we can ask our embedded chat bot that's in our head at that point. But I think right now the content, the work that most, if not all DMOs do to curate their content, specifically event content, is still one of the moats, and one of the areas that I think DMOs truly separate themselves from maybe your more destination agnostic platforms like Google, TripAdvisor, et cetera. There's a lot of these trip planning tools that are coming out. And as Kim alluded to, and as I'm sure many of us have seen, a lot of that content isn't entirely accurate, right? And so there's tremendous value in the work that you do. And now this is an opportunity just to expand that. And as it relates to expanding that, I think it's extending your content. And so not only having and recognizing, and I think all of us have through social and other, evolutions in our industry as it relates to the internet, is that all of our content, while our website is the home base and kind of that front door, at the end of the day, we need to be able to extend and push that content into other areas and in other areas where people are going to, other than just say Google. And that's where with SimpleView, we've continued to develop our CMS. We're a software as a service shop. And so a lot of the value that we roll out to our customers is just included. And one of those things is about 1.5 years ago, we made the migration to make our CMS fully headless. And Another word for headless is essentially extensible, right? So all the content on your website can be extended in APIs and consumed to then better train things like the Playeasy platform here. So what I'm excited about is the work that we've been kind of doing with John and Sean behind the scenes and piloting shared customers like Salt Lake is ensuring that, hey, all that great content, making sure that the answers are, locked and loaded, and Kim knows exactly what's going to show up in those results, is actually coming from our CMS, unlocking our APIs so that they can test against those to ultimately kind of really battle test this before they really went to market. And so I'm really, really excited the fact that we now are able to do that for any client. So any CMS client, all you have to do is just, if you sign on with Playeasy, then we'll unlock those content APIs. It's a big part of what SimpleView is also trying to do from a value of what we provide, right? Like, it's 2025. You should be able to send and extend your content wherever you need to. It's your data. We're just the stewards of that. And so this combination, both the integration we have with CRM and this new integration with CMS, is just going to be a game changer for allowing our customers to really embrace AI in the right way. A lot of those metrics that Kim's talking about, engagements over 55 seconds, those are all things that we've been touting for years, right? We use a phrase beyond the click, right? It's more than just that click. And so it's about the engagement. And so you got to meet the visitors where they're at. And this is just another way for you to do that. So really excited to be part of this, and I'll sit back and watch the demo too. I've seen it enough, but it changes this how fast these guys are developing it.
It's a new product. You haven't seen it yet.
I'm sure it is. So I'm excited. I'm going to be watching it with the rest of you guys as well. But just know that if you are a SimpleView customer attending this webinar and you're interested in working with Playeasy and want to unlock those APIs, you can either let us know or you can let Playeasy know, and they'll know who to contact on our side so we can unlock that content for you guys. So thanks for having me, Sean and team, and congrats to you, Kerri, and the whole Playeasy team. So thank you.
Thank you, Greg. Thank you for joining. And so CMS-synced is live with SimpleView. We're also able to set this up with other website CMS providers through more of a manual integration as we work together. But with SimpleView, it's extremely easy to do. So just let us know, and we can pretty much in minutes get that integration set up. So with that, I'd like to introduce the new product from Playeasy Experiences. It's called Compass. And it's able, and the tagline here is pointing visitors to the soul of your destination. It encompasses all of the website elements, all of the AI, everything that we have into one easy to share package that you can put on event organizers' websites, in your experience, on your leisure travel websites, and hits all 5 of the major items that we feel like are the most important. The CMS integration, you have full control, the 360 experience, event engagement, and in-market engagement. And so so with that, I'll go ahead and I'll let John kick off the demo here so you guys can all take a look at the new product called Compass.
Thank you, Sean. So just to give a quick kind of story here that I thought was really funny when we were talking about this internally as a team yesterday. The team knows that I am a big lover of going out to lunch, especially when we're in person, all in the same place in Boston. And every day it was a question of like, where can I go to eat? And that's such a simple question, but you do want something unique. You want something special. And think of a traveler. They come to your area, the first time there, they're like, where can I go? I'm in this place for the first time. What would I want to do? I want to ask somebody that actually knows what they're talking about to answer that question. If I go online, if I search Google today, and I get an ad for this, an ad for that, it's usually a chain, Chipotle, some other chain restaurant, but it's not authentic. It's not curated. It's kind of, I could have just found that by looking anywhere. There's nothing special about it. But this led us to the idea of what if we could give that hug from the DMO out in a reusable, extendable package that basically could go anywhere, could interface with years of knowledge. We're talking 20 years of knowledge in the Salt Lake case. We're working with Ann Arbor also. We're talking 10 to 15 years of knowledge there. We're talking about things where I'm going to a big football game and I want to know the best bar to go to right afterwards, or what events are coming up the next day. So then this idea started evolving. We already started dipping our toes into the AI space. We also had our Elements product. So why not just start to unify it, create a single pane of glass that could be installed anywhere, that can do all the stuff that both of those products could do, but better, and then more integrated into the way that people are actually using these technology products in the current state and in the future, which is they typically don't like to click. They like to ask questions, get responses, and engage with that content relatively quickly. But they want good content. If they start seeing things like, hey, I can't take the bus in this area to the ski resort because it's summer, but this thing told me to do that, like, what's up with that? Why is it doing that? This comes with this genesis that we've been going through with our AI tour guide, which we're evolving into this Compass product. So with that, I'm going to walk through 3 core use cases. I'm going to go pretty quickly, but I think this will give you a flash of what this looks like and how it'll work into the future. But with this, I can always go deeper one-on-ones with your special use cases and talk through how we can implement this with your destination. But what I'll start with is the general visitor side. So on the Salt Lake website, we've been working with Kim to really use our AI tour guide to help plan your trip to Salt Lake. So this really needs to know everything about the area and really go into, hey, I'm coming here for the first time. What should I be looking for? Maybe I want to go skiing. What does that look like? Can I book a hotel? Are there any shows that I should go to? Is it good weather for this? So now we're going to introduce this AI tour guide into this website. So you have all the great content on the website itself, and then we're going to extend that out to basically unify all the different directories, all those subdirectories of like, hey, what if I'm looking for food? What if I'm looking for museums? What if I'm looking for kids' attractions? And put it all on a single pane of glass. Now this works on the website, but it also works on other websites. But the key part here also is it always links back to your destination website. And this is really important because the destination website is the book of truth for this. If it's not on the destination website, well, then I can't really answer it because it's not there. I don't know. I'm just like the person that doesn't understand like that fine nuance or something. I'll avoid answering the question rather than just saying, hey, let me make up something and hopefully the person doesn't notice. The goal of this is to be rooted in your content and then rooted in your knowledge, because that's really what's missing from my point of view and a lot of these AI bots that are out there today. So within here, you have the basics of, hey, if I just want to ask a question, I could go and do that really easily. I could also just start browsing different directories. So like, here's all my dining and attractions of all of Salt Lake. And this goes on. There's a ton of information here. I could say I do my pizza test. So this is something I traditionally do. Whenever I'm in a new area, I want to find a pizza place. Within seconds, we've curated all that content back on the Salt Lake website. I can answer that question really quickly to say, hey, I found like 5, 6, 7, 10, 15 pizza places, and you could go to any one of these. But not only did I serve those back up to you in this quick search, I also took into account the rankings that you have through your simple view instance. So your top tier result, the voted best in Utah, that's going to be your first result because that's really what you've put into your content. This is the best, so I'm going to promote it as the best. This holds true in everything else that I'm going to walk through today, but it's your content. It's your curation. We're going to leverage that to push this content forward. So with that, you have a couple of other options as you get to this page. You could look at a full map of the area. This could be, down at a very high level. Here's the whole area and all the things to do. And then I have that same searchability that I showed before. And then I could filter out all the different pizza places in the area, or I could get hyper local. And I could basically say within a block of where I am, this is the 2 pizza places that I could go to. And with that said, this gets into the nuance of your content's the kink here. So there might be certain things where, like, as I just showed here, this is actually a comedy club. But if I click through here, what you'll see is in this comedy club, they offer selling beers and pizza, but they also will offer events. In the future, what I'm going to show in a little bit is how we tie those events into these businesses also. So you get that full breadth of everything that's happening within inside the DMO. So with that said, just going into one of the key use cases that we talked through with Salt Lake, skiing. So if I wanted to do skiing here, this is all their blog content. There's years of this content. It's great information. Maybe I'm like, oh, wow, that's 25 different things. I just want some advice. I could easily just click a button. Now we use our AI engine behind the scenes, and we're able to curate all those 25 different blog posts and find out as much information as possible about skiing in the area. But the big thing here is I'll make it conversational. So here's the high level picture of it. Like, there's 4 core ski resorts. This is the best place to ski in the world as per Salt Lake. And it's like, great, wonderful. I've learned a lot, but now I want to do something about it. So it's like, I need some deeper recommendations. I have kids, I'm coming in November or December. How do I go from there? So I could read all this content. But the real key item here is I can now engage with the content. So I could help plan a trip this winter for this event. So now I could get deeper and deeper of actual event planning. But now when I start doing that event planning, it's not going to just give me a generic answer. It's got to ask questions. It's got to follow up. It's got to go into details. Is this for me? Is it for a group of people? Is it for a family of kids? Whatever it takes, it'll use this content behind the scenes, aggregate it together, and give the best answer possible. So as it's going through here, all the power of Playeasy is now behind it. So I have information about upcoming events. I have information about the hotels in the area. I have information about all this great restaurant information. It can take all that and then provide the best answer possible, grounding in the information that's coming from Playeasy plus the CMS integration that we've done. So as it's going through here, it's thinking through, okay, let me start getting into the weeds of it. I could give you hotel recommendations. This is a general price point of it. These are actually bookable hotels that's recommended. When I click through, I can book that hotel for that time period, or I could change it up. But it gives you that ballpark understanding of what this is going to cost you, some places where you could eat, some other information around there. Then you could do something as simple as finding some upcoming events for the same time period. So now we could get into a more multi-dimensional approach of this. It's not just, hey, I did a trip planning, but I could go further and further and further and start really thinking about, okay, I'm in the area. What can I really do here? So as it's going through this, there's a whole lot of information that Salt Lake has accumulated over the years. We're diving deep into it, pulling out the gems. But one of the biggest things that's different than what we had earlier is the ability to have this event information for all general events inside of both our AI. And then as I bounce back out to that home screen here, we do now have the ability to surface an entire event calendar. Now, this is way beyond sports because this is every local thing that you could imagine that's happening in Salt Lake for the foreseeable future. So I could go into here, I could look for Halloween, because that's coming up this week. And here's all the events happening in the community related to Halloween. I could go deeper and deeper. I could have a conversation about this with AI, but for the sake of time, I'm going to jump onto a couple other use cases with our partners at Ann Arbor, and then one last use case to show how this works on an event. So with that, with Ann Arbor, what we're going through is for an upcoming Michigan game. This weekend, actually, we are implementing our AI as a event microsite AI bot. And this is really going to be able to surface all the great things around the attraction itself. So I'm going to this event, what's the closest restaurant? I could look at that map again, find out, okay, what's in walking distance of food and drink options? And like literally down the block, I could find all these different things, and they all link back again to the Ann Arbor website. So while it's the same technology, it's going to be a very different experience in Ann Arbor versus Salt Lake. Different content, different ways of interacting with it because they might have different things highlighted here, but the ideas remain the same. Take all your content and be able to surface through here. So the last thing I'll show also on here is that in the case of, let's say I'm working with a rights holder and I have an upcoming sports event coming in the next couple of days, and I want to be able to provide that embedded experience of, in this case, Visit Boise on this hockey event. You would be able to easily, with 2 lines of code, install this on that website, to be able to open it back up. You have the same experience of bringing it all back to the Boise content. And then I'll have all the same level of interactions. I could go through the map, all the things to do in the area. And in this case, there might be hotel specials. So if I go through here, I'm like, okay, I need to book a room for this. So let's go through it. The AI will actually understand that context. You're here for this event. That's not going to allow you to do general hotel bookings. So I could go in here and basically get one room for no events. And then as it does this, it'll be able to surface back up that special event room block information. And if we did have, let's say, hotel room rates available, live rates, it would use that also. It merges it both together, but it really will push the user to be basically like, this is the specials for this event. Book these hotels, they're exclusive rates to you. You could go and get the best things available based on your requirements. So with that there, I'll stop and I'll pass it back off to Sean for what we're going to talk about next.
All right, great. And then
Yes.
Kerri, that's gonna be you. So
Yeah. I'll take it, John, just for some Q&A. So if you do have any questions, please feel free to push through the chat. But first, can I choose which content syncs from my CMS?
Absolutely. So one of the things that we worked with SimpleView on is understanding how all the intricacies of categories and tagging is being applied to your content. So for in the case of Salt Lake, we picked maybe out of 50 different subcategories, maybe 30 of them. And those 30 are the ones that matter for a general tourist. Because inside of CRM and CMS, they would have things like, here's for a meeting planner. That's not really needed for this database, but could be used in the future if we needed to. If you don't use, let's say, a SimpleView CMS, what would happen is, in the case of Boise, we're actually working with them on their WordPress instance. So they've used Playeasy out of the box. All the content lives in Playeasy already. We're 100% able to use it from Playeasy without a CMS. Now, the nicety here is both use cases unify on Playeasy so that when you get the experience of this chat engine on top of it and this experiences engine on top of it, it always will work the same. It's just, where is the information initially coming from, which is the question.
Awesome. And then how are the results ranked or prioritized? Is it by location, relevance, etc.?
Yes. So this gets into a lot of complicated math that I had to figure out. But the big thing here to understand is that we take in as many factors as possible to the relevancy of what the person is asking. So this is the new world of AI, where it's not just, hey, I click a filter and it shows me 45 results. And it's like, I guess that's good enough. Somebody had intent when they said something. They would say, what is the best restaurant? What is the closest restaurant? Where can I go tonight? Those things are not basically a number. You have to say, okay, based on what they're saying, let me figure out the best answer possible and rank the content with that. With that said, we are implementing abilities coming from the CMSs and then eventually inside of Playeasy to manually rank that content to say this is high priority, medium priority, low priority. Now that doesn't mean it's always shown, but that means that when it is shown, it will be boosted up higher compared to somebody that is not ranked as high. But again, it comes back to what is the user actually looking for? And that's really the key thing that we look for in all these questions going forward.
Awesome. And what if you don't use SimpleView or other CMS websites?
Yes. So this again goes back to everything can be stored in Playeasy, because really when we sync with the CMSs, it's just putting it in Playeasy. The magic of everything I just showed here is actually on the Playeasy end. When we look at the content coming from SimpleView or coming from WordPress or coming from any other third party, we normalize it, but then we run it through an entire pipeline of AI magic, as I like to call it, which gets it to a place where when I build this integration, I build these layers on top of it, it's able to have a conversation with the Playeasy platform in real time to get the best answers possible. So with all that said, to keep it really simple, if you're already using Playeasy for all your content, this will work. No problems about it. It will link back to your content, whether it's on Playeasy or if you have Playeasy elements. It won't really matter because this is built all hand in hand together with it.
Awesome. And can we track results or referrals?
Yes. So what we're building out, and this goes into more the evolution where this product goes into the future, and why it really becomes its own product is we've built out the ability to track every single conversation and also track every single link. Now, as you've seen this demo, we've done maybe 150 different links generated in just maybe 4 or 5 conversations. We want to get it to a point where you're not looking at, hey, here's a million things that have happened, but key insights based on these conversations. The sentiment of it. Was the user happy? Did they get served the right answers to questions that they had? And then allowing you to dive deeper into it. So with all that said, we track everything, but we want to get it to a point where you could consume all that tracking in a really easy to use and very powerful manner.
Awesome. And is Compass an AI bot that scans our CMS content to populate that content into Playeasy? And what if our CMS is getting an AI bot to help the user experience? Might the two interfere?
So they have no relation with each other. So the key thing to understand is that we're reading content from the SimpleView APIs. We're actually not looking at your website. And this is kind of technical, so I don't want to get too far into the weeds of it, but this also means that this conflicts with nothing, because it basically is just going from like a back channel and having a conversation, pulling it out, and then this is available. This could be put on a single page. It doesn't have to be put on every single page, but as you could see here in the last demo I showed, it could also be put on a rights holder's website or a partner's website, like a hotel. It doesn't really care where it lives because it's isolated in terms of it has knowledge. It pulled that knowledge prior to the conversation starting, and then it could serve out and basically update itself on a nightly basis, say, hey, what's the latest content available?
Yeah, and just to reiterate on that for this question, is there a limit to how many websites it can be placed on? And is this something you can give to partners?
Yes, there is no limit, because the challenge for us is actually not putting it on websites. We're not going to charge based on how many websites you put it on. What we care about is engagement. We want this on as much content as possible, because going all the way back to what Kim was saying, the challenge here is not just, hey, do I have great content? It's actually getting people to use that content. The goal with this going forward is you created great content. Let's give you a way to make that as portable as possible in the new age which AI has introduced.
Awesome. Well, John, I know there's probably a million more questions that you could answer here. And for next steps, John and Sean would love to connect, and this is something we'll end with. But just wanted to thank you, John, for that demo. It has been a lot of work and many of conversations to get to this point. And so we are super excited, and just want to thank you, John.
Thank you.
Awesome. And now we would love to introduce Katherine Johnson, the Senior Digital Specialist with Destination Ann Arbor, who has also been a beta tester of Compass over the course of the last few months. So Katherine, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. So just to start off, could you speak about your experience in how easy was it to get the Simple View Sync started?
Well, we demoed the product earlier this summer in July before the sync, and we learned a lot of lessons from that. It worked great, but there was it was asking some questions that we didn't anticipate. We didn't have the real-time data to look at to shift our content a little bit. And then cut to now, only a short time later, with the sync, it's like a new product. Being able to pull our blog content, our business listings that are housed in the CRM, and our events calendar, pulling that into the responses gives a really detailed, robust, and really well organized response to the prompts. And it was a huge, it made all the difference in the product.
Awesome. And I think it'd be helpful just to give a bit of your experience on AI for your website and how you were thinking about visitor engagement.
Yeah, we've been looking at AI solutions for the website for a couple years now. Really wanted to help. We have a high volume website, a huge website. We wanted to be able to help what visitors find what they were looking for quicker. And one thing that our website doesn't do right now is create customized journeys and custom itineraries and like personalized experiences. And so we were looking at AI solutions that could kind of fill that void. And some of them they tended to kind of break easily, or if you had overly complex queries or overly simplistic queries, it would kind of hit a dead end. And so that's why we didn't move forward with some of those products. And we're kind of waiting for the technology to catch up, so to say. And that's when the team at Playeasy reached out earlier this year with their pilot program and their AI tour guide. And we were really excited to give it a try.
Awesome. And it's really just about that overall event experience. And I know you are in the course of testing, and we'll be launching this for the Michigan-Purdue game coming up. Could you speak a little bit more to that experience and how you're planning on utilizing it for that event experience?
Yeah, we have been really courting the Purdue fans that are coming to Ann Arbor for the University of Michigan game this weekend on November 1st. And we have a lot of marketing out there to, some paid advertisements, some email marketing, to really make sure that the Purdue fans that come to Ann Arbor have a great experience. And so we deployed the Compass product on our custom landing page for the Purdue fans. And we anticipated from our last event that we tried it on that there were some questions that maybe weren't necessarily answered on our custom landing page, where people coming to the big house are going to want to know where to park. They're going to want to know where do I tailgate? And so we came up with kind of a list of questions ahead of time that we were able to load in. And now when you go there and you ask for parking, here's all of the options. So we were able to customize some content that was outside of our blogs and outside of our business listings. And so the experience is really detailed, and people can come up with itineraries. Where do I eat? By the stadium. And so I think it's a really great experience for the user.
Awesome. Well, Katherine, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure working with you up to this point. I'm excited to continue working through this partnership. So thank you.
Yeah, it's been a joy working with the team. So congratulations on all of the new products.
Awesome. Thank you, Katherine. And with that, I just want to thank everyone. I know we're over an hour now, but try to get as much content in as possible. But to transition into the Playeasy Innovators Summit, I want to thank everyone who took the time to submit a bid, to connect, share interest. We had over 80 meetings over the course of the last 2.5 months. So it has been quite an eye-opening experience, and we just really appreciate everyone who took the time. We took every meeting that was asked for, and with that, we are extremely excited to announce where we will be hosting the 2026 Summit, and we will be utilizing Compass as we go to Ann Arbor. And so I want to welcome to the call Mike Price and Megan Hughes from Ann Arbor to introduce our experience for the Playeasy Innovator Summit. So Megan and Mike, thank you so much for being here.
Hi, Kerri and the entire Playeasy team and everybody here. We are so extremely excited and thankful to be selected to host the Playeasy Innovator Summit next summer. There was a word somebody used earlier on this call, and it was relationships. And it really hit home when I heard that word, that we get to have all of our colleagues and event right holders and people we've known and built relationships with over the years in Ann Arbor. It's been a real pleasure working with the Playeasy team on going through the questions for this event. And it just got me really excited in how much the Playeasy team cares about the summit, that we are going to make a great team to bring the innovation here, the conversations, the education that will be happening next summer in Ann Arbor. Go Blue. I wasn't going to say it, but I saw Andrew from the so I have to add Go Blue in there. Also, a huge shout out to Katherine, because she has put so much work and effort into the Playeasy AI and the platform that I think was a huge part of us being selected, because she's done a great job with that. And we couldn't be as far as we are with Playeasy and the platform without her. And one more shout out too is to Brenna. We've used Playeasy over the years, and your entire team has been so extremely helpful and responsive to everything that we need. And Brenna has been my key contact over the years, where I know Mike has had other relationships within the Playeasy team. And congratulations to everybody on the Playeasy team with all the exciting changes you're going through.
Thank you, Megan. And you guys have been such a pleasure to work with. And I can't wait to come out to Ann Arbor next summer. And so with that, I would love to just go through a few quick items on the summit. The theme, as we started out this webinar, is going to be Two Worlds, One Family. And so just a few key things that you should know. We are between two dates right now. So I know there's a lot going on next summer, just with other conferences and the World Cup coming up. And so we try to pick two dates that are pretty open in terms of other things going on in our industry. And so we are between June 1st through the 4th and 14th to the 17th. So we would love and appreciate all of your feedback so we could have all of you there. There is going to be a limit to how many people, and we already have a lot of people on the waiting list. So the sooner the better. As just an incentive for giving us this feedback, we will be giving $100 off to one person who submits his interest form so that we can make a more educated decision for next summer. And so it'll be in Ann Arbor, Michigan. It will be at the Vanguard Hotel Marriott. It is beautiful, similar to the Hotel Westin Maine that we had in Valley Forge. Super excited to be there. And who should attend? Your whole team. We would love for your whole team to attend, but whether it be sales, marketing, your website, as Kim has mentioned, she will be there. And so we would love for as many people to come as possible. And so to save your spot, please scan the QR code. We will follow up with more information. We are hoping to finalize the dates by next week and have that official announcement. And then for sponsorship opportunities, please reach out to Sarah Capuzzi or really anyone on their team, and we will send to her. But once again, we couldn't be more excited for the second conference. Everyone who came to the first one, well enough that we're doing a second one, but we are just humbled and honored that people want to spend more time learning about our product, building this network, and just having fun. We really want to make this the best experience possible for everyone coming out to Michigan. And so we know that that will happen with the Ann Arbor team. And so with that, I'm going to pass it off to Sean to finish us off. So thanks, everyone.
For next steps, if you're interested in learning more about Compass and CMS-synced, you can reach out to Brenna Collins on our team. Her email is here. And then if you'd like to learn more about advertising and summit sponsorships and summit registration, you can reach out to Sarah Capuzzi. So with that, I believe there are no further questions, and that will be the conclusion of our webinar. So thank you guys very much for joining. Really appreciate the partnership, and we're always open to one-on-one conversations as we go. So thank you.